Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. So today's makeup look is going to be on this very classic smoky eyes paired with nude lips and with the sleek bun and some gajras. This is my favorite look whenever I wear like a traditional sari, and nothing beats a classic low updo with a classic makeup look. Now this is a very popular makeup look even with a lot of the actresses in India and stuff. So without further ado, let's dig right into the makeup. I'm going to start off with some lip balm. This is the Peach Pout from Pixie Cosmetics. It's enriched with vitamin C, and you can see it instantly makes your lips look pinky. Now if you're suffering from pigments around your lips, you might want to try this balm because it's working its magic on me. Moving on to my eyeshadow base, I'm using FS45 by Carolyn Paint Stick. Now the reason why I like this as my eyeshadow base because it makes my eyeshadow pop. At the same time, as you can see, it's covering any discoloration around my eyes. Now if you notice my face as opposed to my eyes are a little darker, like it has a lot of pigment. So what this concealer or paint stick does is it instantly takes away all of that, and at the same time it makes a clean base for my eyeshadow kind of sit onto. I'm also going to be applying this eyeshadow on this Kryolan paint stick on the bottom of my eyes as well, and I'm going to do the same with my other eyes. For my palette today, for my eyeshadow palette, I'm using Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to take the orange color and I'm going to start off from the outer corner and I'm going to work my way to the inside. Now as you can see, as I'm swiping it inside, I'm also creating this small circular motions. Now this is going to help me blend the eyeshadow a lot nicer and better without making it look too blotchy. And also make sure the way you're holding the brush, it should be very soft. Now as you can see, I'm holding it from the very end of my brush. Now that creates a very soft touch. So you want to work very carefully. At the same time, you don't want to hold it like a pen too close to its tip. You want to hold it as far as possible to create that leeway for it to be a soft-handed. I'm bringing that same eyeshadow on the bottom of my eyes as well. Now taking a darker brown, more like a ashy gray brown, I'm going to use that on my outer corners. And I'm bringing it inside, but not as much. As you can see, majority of the color is deposited on the outer corners. Now for my eyelid base, I'm going to use this gel eyeliner by L'Oreal and Look Up to create that line. Can you see that line that touched on the top of my crease? Now that is going to act as my guidance for the remaining of the eyeliner to kind of spread onto. So the reason why I'm using this gel eyeliner to be a base, because this is going to be a black smoky eyes, and honestly speaking, even though you wanna if you want to do a black smoky eyes with just black eyeshadow, it doesn't look as pigmented. It still looks like a little powdery. Sometimes it forms crease and the intensity is kind of missing. So you always want to use a gel eyeliner as your base and then blend it with some black eyeshadow like the way I'm doing here. So I took a little bit of black eyeshadow and I'm just blending the outer edges. Now this creates that intensity of black. Now taking the same brush that I've used for my crease, I'm going to marry the two colors in so it looks more blended and flawless. Now it's time for the brows. For that I'm using Cut Brow by Benefit Cosmetics, and taking an angular brush, you can see I'm using that sort of like a guideline on the bottom of my brows to create a line where my brow is going to basically start. The base of the brow, pretty much. And then taking a little strokes on the inner corner to create a hair-like strokes. You want to make sure it doesn't look too boxy. At least not for this makeup look, because honestly speaking, like when you're doing a dark eyeshadow look, you want to make sure that your eyebrows don't look too dark. At the same time, it shouldn't look too washed out either. It should be in the medium, like right proportionate to your eyeshadow. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating that archway now. and I'm going to fill up that arch area. So first what I like to do is I like to create that arch guideline, and then I like to go in and fill those inner portion out. So see what I'm doing? That's what I meant. Now taking that brow bone highlighter, I'm going to use that on my brow bone. I like to use a little shimmery shade so it makes my eyebrows look a little more arched and nicer and sharper. Also at the same time, it makes it, when you do a little bit of shimmer on the brow bone, it makes your eyebrows and both eyes look more like, you know, stand out. Taking the 3D brow tones, which is actually a brow mascara, I'm going to now brush my brow. What it does is it just, you know, fill in any kind of remaining gaps. At the same time, it keeps the hair intact in its place. Once it's done, it's time for some more pigment. So this is called Coal Black by Mineralized Cosmetics. This is actually a water activated eyeshadow. I have wet my brush, picked up some loose pigments, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna carefully place that all over my lid. Honestly, it has a little bit of that light shimmery inside the eyeshadow, so it makes the eyeshadow pop even more, and it also makes sure that my eyeshadow, especially the black eyeshadow, looks super intense. So for my priming oil, I'm using vitamin C enriched priming oil by Pixie Cosmetics. This is going to be acting as my primer. So you can actually wear this oil without putting any makeup, just like, you know, wash your face and just use it as a moisturizer, or you can also use it as like a primer, like the way I'm doing it. Now for foundation, I'm using Tan by Milani Cosmetics. Milani foundation has been one of my favorite to-go foundation because of its coverage. The coverage of Milani foundation is amazing. Also, the fact that it matches my skin so perfectly is you know, like such a turn on, because I like foundation that matches my skin. I could make it light or dark depending on how much I want to highlight and contour, right? But when it comes to just the foundation, I want it to be exactly a perfect shade. I try as much as I can. If not, I always go for one shade darker because I know I can amp it up with a little bit of highlighter. So you can go always one shade darker, because I feel like one shade darker is also pretty good because it takes care of a lot of the hyperpigmented areas because of the amount of orange it has in the foundation. So imagine if I had to use a priming oil and you know, highlighting color corrector and then move on to the foundation. A lot of my clients do come and tell me that when they use orange concealer, they look too orangey because the orange concealer has spread all over the face. If you're having difficulty with that, what you can do is get a foundation one shade darker than your skin tone, because it will have the right amount of orange or peach in it to cover up those discoloration areas. And you can always amp it up with the concealer, like the way I'm gonna do right now. So for concealer, I'm using Boeing Concealer by Benefit Cosmetics. Now again, you'll see the concealer looks a couple of shades lighter than my skin, but when it's mixed with that one shade darker foundation or the correct shade of foundation, it still looks absolutely perfect. And the reason why it does that, because even if you pick the correct shade to your skin, it is going to oxidize and go one shade darker. So even if you pick one shade darker, it doesn't matter, it will go one shade darker again. So you eventually end up picking one shade darker color anyway, but what it does is it helps you color correct those areas. So no worries about having a dark foundation. You can always amp it up with a little bit of lighter concealer, if you know what I'm trying to say. So that if only you're having difficulty with, you know, wearing orange concealer, or you don't want to have orange concealer because it's too many layers, you can always wear a darker foundation and amp it up with a little bit of, you know, highlighter. And then you also have contour and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, it all matters is what your end product looks like. The process doesn't matter. That's why they say trust the process, because it doesn't matter what you do. What matters is after the actual results is what is important. Now to set all that concealer, I'm using MAC Mineralized Powder. Now MAC Mineralized Powder has been my recent go-to thing. Actually, one of my makeup artist friend suggested me that I should always use a MAC Mineralized Powder under my eyes especially, and around my laugh lines to set those areas prior to going in with, you know, loose powder or baking techniques and all of that. So on my brides, what I do is I actually go in with my MAC Mineralized Powder first, setting those areas, and then I move on to setting the remaining face with some loose powder, like baking the face. Today's look, I'm not going to be baking so much. I'm just going to be setting it in with some MAC Mineralized Powder, and then moving on to my next step, I'm going to be using Rimmel translucent powder to set the entire face, including under eyes and all those areas that I've already set with some MAC Mineralized. And I know a lot of you guys may ask me why I do this, because MAC Mineralized is very fine finished powder. So what it does, it actually helps set those areas a lot nicer. Going into this, you know, like when you have those fine lines, those powders are so fine finished, they actually go in between those fine lines, setting your entire eyes, under eyes, laugh lines and all of that. And I do get laugh lines, if you're wondering. I do get laugh lines. So this actually helped me a lot to get rid of laugh lines as much as possible. Like it reduced it down to like 50% less. For my contour, I'm going to be using Hoola Bronzer. Now, I know that you're not supposed to contour with a bronzer, but honestly speaking, like this Hoola Bronzer has been such a perfect powder when it comes to contouring and bronzing at the same time. So it kind of acts like a 2-in-1. So it's perfect for me, honestly. And look at the shade of that color, is just perfect. So I'm going to be using this as my contouring today, plus my bronzing. See, with the highlighting color and the foundation, now everything just looks perfect and blended in. Like the finishing result, you can already see the outcome of it is looking amazing. Now taking a smaller brush, I'm just going to contour the bridge of my, the sides of my nose. Not the bridge of my nose, oh my lord. For my highlight and my blush, I'm going to be using the Smashbox Halo New Collection. The two colors on the side, the one that looks a little bit of reddish and pinkish, are actually blushes, and then the other two colors are highlights. So you can see I've actually used both colors. Like I married the two colors together before applying it, and honestly, like the highlighter is amazing. I have to say this. This is my first time trying this highlighter, but I love the shade because it looks really amazing. It's kind of like a champagne gold, so I like it when it's mixed together. I haven't tried it separately, so I mixed the two highlighters together before applying it, but I'm loving the whole highlighter, honestly, because it's looking so nice. It's not too shimmery, like it doesn't have glitter particles in it, but it looks amazing. And I'm gonna pop some on my inner corners as well, just to make my eyes, inner corner of my eyes pop. I feel like smoky eyes could make your eyes look small, so it's always good to pop some highlighter around the eyes, especially in the inner corners and the brow bone. That way your eyes kind of stand out. Now taking those two other colors, I'm going to use it as my blush, so I'm just popping it on my cheeks. I love the color, honestly. It looks so beautiful. Time for some mascara. So I'm going to be using Snap Mascara by Maybelline Cosmetics. When I'm using a lot of lashes, like fake lashes, I'm not too worried about mascara too much. That looks so good. I love this mascara, honestly. Now for some lip liner. This lip liner, I know it looks so bad, like the shape of it is horrible right now because I've abused it, you can tell. But this shade is amazing. It's called In the Nudes by Essence Cosmetics. Now those of you who know what Essence Cosmetics is like, it's really good. Like it's so cheap, their stuff is so inexpensive, and they're so good. For my lipstick, I'm using Legendary Lipstick in shade Easy by Smashbox Cosmetics. I love how sheer, and it has a little bit of the gloss in there, but honestly, look how that lipstick looks. It looks so good. It doesn't make my lips look dry. It gives up my lips a little bit of that pouty look. I love it. For my lashes, I'm using Bougie Lashes. I believe that's what it's called, by Lash Chateau. It's called Miss Bougie 2.0. I think it's their version 2. But these lashes are amazing, amazing. And when you have smoky eyes, you definitely need a heavy lash because it's not very noticeable. So if you put a skinny lash, like not so thick of a lash, like it won't even show. So at least with the help of thick lashes, it definitely shows a lot more. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have really enjoyed this tutorial. Also, I know you're gonna ask me on the contact lenses. These are called Daisy Chocolate. These are by TTDI colored contact lenses. I'm gonna link their Instagram and website down below. There is a coupon code, so it's called Azmeree, to get some dollars off. I hope you have loved this makeup tutorial. This makeup is so wearable with any traditional outfit, even with some modern outfit like dresses. You can totally let down your hair and wear this makeup look and it will still look very snatched. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and also hit the bell icon to be notified. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you on my next video. Till then, take care.